welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Put on Giants podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean, beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSPS, my Twitter handle. Check me out there. The San Francisco Giants are on a roll. They have played 9 games, and they are 8-1. And the one loss they had was a 4-3 loss to the Cincinnati Reds, so they could easily be still undefeated. They're playing really great baseball, and I think that there's a lot of different things you can point to that. But I'm going to start with just the pitching staff and the runs scored last year. The Los Angeles Dodgers gave up 686 runs. All right, the Giants gave up 699 runs. And over the last couple of years, we've seen it that the Giants have pitched well enough to be in a lot of baseball games. And how many times have we watched the Giants over the last couple of years where it was, what, 2-0, 3-2, and you felt like the game was over because they could not, because their offense was so inept. Now you enter this year's version, first year with Buster Posey as the general manager, and I think he made. I think there are a couple moves he wanted to make. I think they wanted to get Corbin Burns. They didn't get Corbin Burns, but this year they get Willie Adames, kind of levels out that offensive lineup. And now he brings such an exuberance and he's smiling all the time, making great plays in the field. Last year we had 32 home runs and had over 110 RBIs for the Brewers, and he's been as advertised. The home run power will come soon. I'm not worried about the home run power, but for the most part, he's been great, and I think that's part of it. It kind of solidifies that left side of the infield with Matt Chapman, so they really are doing a great job there. And I think like I said, the numbers show that the Giants just were a middle of the pack, a little bit of a higher, above average offensive team. They're going to be in the they're going to be in the mix. Now, the Giants there's a world where the Giants win 87 games and don't even make the playoffs. As far as that goes, because this NL West has just been murder right now, and the Diamondbacks haven't even gotten going yet. But the Giants are going to be in a lot of games. They're going to give you some exciting baseball as well. I got to give props to Pat the Bat, Pat Burrell, the hitting coach, because all these hitting coaches will say a lot of the same things, right? They'll say a lot of the same things. They'll say, "Hey, when the ball's in the outside part of the plate, go with it, hit it the other way. Don't roll over. Don't fight it and ground out to shortstop if you're a right-handed hitter." Things like that. But like whatever he's saying, it's connecting to them. It's connecting, and they're able to take his words and take it to the field. I haven't seen this many Giants, go the other way and inside out balls and just have really good quality at bats, and forever. The first game of the year against Hunter Green and the Cincinnati Reds, they struggled, and then they struggled. They had a bunch of strikeouts in the game, and you said, okay, here it is, same old Giants. They still can't score. They're still striking out. They're still striking out all the time, but towards the end of the game, quality of bats, and end up them coming back and winning the game on a Wilmer Flores home run. Let's talk about Wilmer Flores here because he's been great for the Giants here, and I've been a guy who have just been like, okay, get him off the team. He's just older. I don't really, but you kind of with all the pieces the Giants have, especially some of the young pieces on this team, you kind of need a settling force, a guy who's going to give you a good at bat when you need one. Just yesterday, he had the big at bat in the ninth inning, bottom of the ninth, and just inside out of the ball, just put it right past the second baseman, and then then Matos scores, Giants win. Like he is this. You need somebody who's going to give you a quality at bat late in ball games, a guy who can spell your DH, who can play a little first base, who can do all those things. And I think for me, I gotta kind of take a back seat to my criticism of the Giants keeping Wilmer Flores there. Keep Wilmer Flores there. They have enough guys there. I kind of want a more powerful DH or slash first baseman, but you got to remember with the Giants, Bryce Aldridge is the future at first base. So let Lamont Wade Jr. play first base for right now. Let Wilmer Flores play first base right now. Casey Smith is going to be, I kind of look at him as more of a middle infielder, a utility guy. I mean, he kind of struggled at first base when he's played there, but it's a new position for him, so you got to give him you got to cut him a little bit of slack there. But I mean, listen, the offense is really has been fantastic. Something Dusty Baker used to always talk about with the Giants is it all. Does your team have the ability to hit where runners in scoring position and also hit where runners in scoring position with two outs? And they're able to do that. The Giants have been able to do that all year so far, and like I said, it is super early. I am not putting a ring on the San Francisco Giants as far as that goes, but it is good to see them finally look like they have a team with a team of that's going in the right direction, a team that can actually get some things done. They got some sweeps going here. They swept the Mariners, swept the Astros. They won 7 games in a row. They're doing a really a fantastic job of just hanging in there and just in these ball games. And even when you think maybe okay, it's okay, the Giants can go ahead and lose this game. They won a bunch of games in a row. They just keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and they're not succumbing to any of that. So the Giants, like I said, 8-1 right now. Obviously, there's a lot of different things you can point to, but the clutch hitting, the pitching, the bullpen. I don't know how they survived this year. As far as the bullpen goes, with only one left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen, but Miller has been really good. Had a great job. Did a great job in the I think it was the eighth inning to runners at second, first and second with one out, induce a double play, get out of the inning, keep and hold and get hold and keep the lead going into the fourth quarter, going into the going into the ninth inning. So great job there. Duvall, missed his spots a little bit today, and I knew they were in trouble when they walked to face Randy Arozarena. Arozarena I think it was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in the ball game. I understand why they did that, but I kind of knew that a player of his ability was going to come through. Because Cal Raleigh was just destroying. Cal Raleigh had a great game today for the Mariners, and he was a triple away from hitting for the cycle. So that's why they'd rather face Randy than Cal, but Randy is just too good. I mean, he's a really good player. And in clutch moments, big moments like that, he's going to come through for the Mariners, and he did. But the Giants came back and they walked it off again. They walked off a couple games there. We talked about Adames. He just fits right in. He just fits right into this team. When you have, there was a lot of talk about the Giants and the city of San Francisco, and how I forgot who it was, the DH who the Giants wanted, but he said he didn't want to come play in San Francisco because of the city, all this stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of great things about the city of San Francisco, and I to see people kind of flock to it, like Chapman, signed a deal with the Giants. Adames was really the only big free agent signing they had, but he came in and he's been fantastic. I mean, as far as just making great plays at shortstop, getting clutch hits. He walked off game 1 of this series, I think. Game 2 of this series with the Mariners. So, that kind of like joy to play the game, because baseball's a grind. So if you got to play, if you got to play with a smile, you got to play with some enjoyment, and I think Willie Adames definitely brings that to the team. Helio Ramos, I mean, again, a guy who was just taking the ball, letting it get deep, and just driving it the other way. He's the only right-handed hitter to ever hit a home run into the water at Oracle. He has been that guy for them. He has been him for the San Francisco Giants this year. He's been fantastic. And the Giants as a team, when we look at him and Joe Hung Lee, he's batting 344 right now. this is what we wanted from him last year, but he got hurt. That's why it was such a devastating injury when he got hurt. The guy is just a great. I'm not saying he is Ichiro, but that kind of hitter where he just slaps the ball, has the occasional power to hit the ball to the fence, but he's just gonna slap it over the third baseman, slap it in the gap, and and get singles and doubles, and he can steal bases. And the Giants, as a team, are just stealing a lot of bases. Like I'm looking at everybody in the lineup here, and I'm thinking like almost everybody, with the exception of maybe Bailey, has a stolen base this year, and they don't have. And so the Giants don't have blazing speed, but it's all about reading the pitcher and everything like that. But they've been really aggressive on the base pads. They're stealing bases. They're moving runners along. Like all those little things. I think um Fitzgerald had a great he had two or three great bunt base hits in this game. He has great speed. If you play MLB the Show, you'll see that Fitzgerald is 99% or 99 out of 100 speed. So any ground ball he can beat out. So I love it. I mean, as a Giant fan, you have to love it. You have to love what you see so far from them. Again, they got a series coming up with the Reds during this homestand. They have 3 games against the Yankees this month. They got 3 games against the Dodgers this month. So you would take 2-4, but can the Giants go 3-3 in those games? Can they go 4-2 in those games? I mean, that's going to be a really good. It's always going to be. That's one thing I missed about living on the East Coast, is just seeing the Giants play at Yankee Stadium. It's always fun. I mean, those two franchises have such great history in the state of New York, so that's always fun, and it's always a lot of transplants from the Bay Area and San Francisco Giant fans who go to Yankee Stadium and watch those games. But right now, ton of green on Monday, and we'll see how the Giants fare against him. He is just an absolute huge human being, and he throws the ball 102 miles an hour. So the Giants have to be ready for that one. So we're gonna try to do this every week with the obligations I have with the Put on Raiders podcast, the Signal Caller, and the USC Stood by the Right USC podcast. It's gonna be hard to do like a daily Giants show, but I think what I'm gonna do is every week we'll do a show, and then when it's a big series like at the Yankees, big series against the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Padres, stuff like that. I forgot the Padres and end of the month they go to Petco, so I'll be there for those games as well. So it'd be fun times talking about it. But the Giants are the Giants good? Are the Giants good? We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, it's pretty good by the Bay right now in the Yay area. They're doing a great job. So we'll see if that continues. All right, Put on Giants podcast. See you next week.